The reason I chose a rifle is because I like the idea of an impact and powerful. And in every first person shooter, every gun is important. The sound of the gun is important. So I'm going to show you guys how I created the gun. So first off, we started in Pro Tools. And we have to import all our audio files, which is our sounds that we recorded or grabbed, into Pro Tools. And the reason why is this is how we start off. First off, you have to separate all the clips if you have more than one inside that one file. And you have to make sure you give it a little space and make sure it's empty. Once you're done, you can repeat it to the others just to make sure to give that empty space and make sure you have to do it right. Next, you're going to do a top and tail. Now what top and tail does is just cutting off a small piece of the head, but you have to make sure you set on tab on transients, which means it'll automatically put the cursor right at the beginning of the waveform. After you top and tail, which means cutting off the beginning and the end, add fades. You don't want to hear silence. You just want to focus on the sound of the sound. And the reason why we add fades is that way we don't have to hear that silence. And as you see right now, I am gently editing them at the right time. Around 2 milliseconds, that's what you need. 2 milliseconds of cutting head and tail. Once you're done with that part, you can repeat to the others. Now, in the fades, you can choose any style of fades, but mostly you have to choose equal gain because you want to make it sound equal. Now, you can choose any style of fades. You can bend it down or up. You can edit that way. You then have to repeat the process to the other audio clips that you import. That way it will sound balanced. Now, when you have a stereo file, make sure to split it in mono, because you don't want to ride the gun to be wide range. You want it to be centered. So, when you choose one of the sides, you can hide and make it inactive the original, and the other side you didn't pick. That way, you don't worry about deleting it. Now, if you have a file that you want to add to the gun, you can just go to File and import it, that audio clip. And then you have to make sure you repeat those two processes, which is top and tail and add fades. After all the fading and the top and tailing, you have to consolidate the clip. What that means, it's going to reprint it without adding an extra file. It's going to make the clip sound complete with the fades and the top and tailing. You have to repeat this process to all the sounds you've edited, top and tail, and fading. After the fading and consolidating, the next step is to layer them. Now, layering is putting one sound on top of the other and on top of the other. You have to do it at the right time and at the right spot, so that way it will sound like a real gun. And you have to do this to the 3 or 4 or however much amount of sounds you've decided to separate and consolidate and layering. Now, if you decide you want to import an extra sound for your gun, you can just go to File and Import. You have to search up or go to your downloads or wherever you put your sounds that you want to add into the import. You have to make sure you copy it. You don't want to add it. Just copy it, because that way you don't have to worry about that. It'll never come back. And once you imported that audio that you want, you can just do the same process like the rest of them. And you have to also make sure to layer them wherever you want. Now remember, you have to do it at the right time or at the right spot that you think it's correct in your choice. Once you have finished layering, the next step is to add effects. Why are effects? Well, you can do that when you want to. What if you wanted to make it sound bigger? What if you wanted to fix the reverb, or you want to add a certain sound? You can just add an EQ for your sounds. For example, what I did right now for my gunshot is add a high pass filter, so that way it'll sound more higher and powerful, while I add in the bass a low pass filter to make it sound deep and well balanced. Now, if there's one sound that's too loud, you can just go use Maxim, and that'll help you lower the max of the sound. Now, once when you're done, you can normalize them and make sure you put at -3. And once you're finished with normalizing, add an audio file and put it in a bus. That way you can start printing your very own first sound, and voila, you got your gun sound effect. Congratulations. Now you can play around with it, test it a few times, but if it doesn't work, you can just re-record it again. And once you're done, you export it as a file. Make sure you set it at 16, 40, 41, or 48K. Put it in a certain location you can remember, and hit save. Once you finish recording your sound, you can now go to Wwise. Now, Wwise is a program created by Audio Kinetic, which are the people who created the program called Wwise, which is a program that you can connect your sounds into a game. Now, first off, you have to import the sound that you recently recorded in Pro Tools. You have to and hopefully you remember where you located it. Once you import it, it'll be in a default actor. Now, what that is, it's just a sound that you play. Now, in Wwise, it's completely different. You can edit out your sounds in Wwise a bit. For example, you want to make it shorter, you can add a little fade, you can also put pitch, or you just want to fix it, or anything you want to just edit out a little bit before then. Now, in Wwise, the sounds are called childs, and in the childs they also have parents, and parents are like folders, special folders you can put in the sound. Now, if you have multiple sounds, you can put it at a random folder, which is randomizing the sounds inside that folder, which would be perfect for a gun, which is why I just put that out there. Now you can randomize even the pitch and the volume and the filters. Once when you finish with that, go to the event section, which is like a special moment, an AK event, which is a new file for the Wwise. Now you can press play, which is play, stop, stop. You have to set it up and make sure you put that sound into that event. Once when you're done with it, you have to head to Soundcaster. What Soundcaster is, it's a demo for your sounds. Literally a demo. For example, if you have a sound and you made a mistake, luckily you're using Soundcaster to help you listen to the demos of your sound. Once when you finish with the demos, you can save Wwise. Now we're at Unreal, which is a program created by, Epic Games, which is a company that involves creating games. And Unreal Engine is a game editing program. First of all, you have to go to your Wwise Picker. To do that, you can just go either to the Wwise Picker tab or to the plugins and make sure you set the audio into Wwise Unreal Engine. When you're done with that, you now head to your content sounds. Now, the blue ones represents AK events, which are sounds that you import in Wwise. The green ones are Audio Kinetic banks, which are like messengers to the game codes, like you want to import them. Now what you have to do is head to the blues and make sure they are connected to the audio bank. When you're done with that, head to your contents and go to the animations. There you can see the animation of each choice. Now we're doing a gun, so we head to the weapon and fire. Now this shows the video of how the firing effect. Now what you have to do there is you see the notifies bar. You click it and put an add notify, which will lead to you can add an AK event. It's like saying, hey, I want you to add this for me, and it will literally add it for you. But you have to do it at the right time. You have to tell it, hey, I wanted to place it right here, the sounds. After finally, you go back to your Audio Kinetic bank and right click it and set it to generate selected sound banks. What that does is it just sends in the events, everything you put into the game. And once that's completed, you got your sounds. But in case if you got it wrong or something bad happens, you can just re-edit in Wwise and come back here. Alright everyone, that was very good. It was nice to talk to you guys of how I did my progress. And I hope you enjoy my demo reel. Remember to send me an email or whatever you need. I'm there. Thank you so much, and it's wonderful being with you guys. Goodbye.